I know I'm late to this debacle, but I just had to discuss the shocking JJK 236 spoilers. I'm talking about a chapter that has left the fandom in disbelief.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Yo, killing me with this.
Let's dive right into the madness. Last week, it seemed like Gojo Satoru had triumphed in his epic battle against Sukuna, but when the spoilers for chapter 236 hit the scene, we felt the shockwaves throughout the fandom. On Wednesday, the spoilers for Jujutsu Kaisen Chapter 236 dropped, and fans were not expecting what happened. JJK presented us with a future worse than the worst potential future itself. The man, the myth, the legend, Gojo goddamn Satoru got one-shotted off-screen for no goddamn reason. This chapter will go down in history as one of the most disrespectful character deaths in history. Sukuna fans must be gloating right now, knowing their investments paid off. This monster went from Fortuna to one-slash-man completely off-screen. This must be the most outrageous manga chapter in all of Shonen's history. I don't know what to say, honestly, I'm baffled. I know Gojo had to die for the story to progress, but I didn't think it would be like this. In the previous chapter, after Gojo released his ultimate hollow, which destroyed Maharaga and caused serious injuries to Sukuna, Sukuna's healing was weaker and he was in a pretty dire state as Gojo had not taken much damage and his healing had gone back up after 4 consecutive black flashes. The community was all but assured that Gojo's victory would be announced in chapter 236, but when the chapter started with Suguru Geto greeting Gojo, everyone believed it to be a flashback. But as the chapter went on, the conversation between them moved and it became clear what it was. Gojo had been defeated and this was his last moment, where Suguru Geto, Kento Nanami and Haibara came to meet him.
Hey, what's going on? People tell me, please, what's going on?
So what exactly happened in this game-changing chapter? The chapter starts with another worldly conversation between Gojo and Geto. Gojo is taken aback by his current situation, muttering this is awful, while Geto playfully scolds him for being rude. Gojo reflects on something he once told his students, that when you die, you are all alone. He hopes that this conversation is just his imagination, desperately avoiding the idea that he might be wrong. Geto unfazed responds with a casual who cares, but Gojo insists that it matters. He mentions something about his father, leaving us hanging and says it's alright, hinting that he's entrusted something important to Shoko. Geto then gets to the heart of the matter and asks Gojo about the fight with Sukuna. Gojo's honesty takes us by surprise as he admits that Sukuna was stronger, and even though he didn't use his full power, he even questions his chances of winning against Sukuna, even without Megumi's curse technique. Gojo reveals that he gave it his all. He trained every aspect of himself, from his body to his skills, talents, and powers. He admits that he relished the fight, but was disappointed that he couldn't push Sukuna to his limits. He even expresses a wish that Geto could have been there to motivate him. But personally, I feel like this is a bit of glazing, considering Gojo came off as pretty confident that he would win this fight the entire time. So I don't know what made him switch so quickly. Nanami and Haibara join the conversation, shedding light on Gojo's philosophy towards Jujutsu. Nanami recalls the humorous conversation where they called Gojo a pervert for using sorcery for personal pleasures. Gojo's unique approach to Jujutsu becomes clear. He sees it as a means to satisfy himself rather than just a job. Gojo's willingness to die at the hands of a stronger opponent adds depth to his character. He's glad that he didn't die of old age or sickness, but at the hands of someone who surpassed him. However, Nanami can't help but be amused by Gojo's samurai-like demeanor, and Haibara playfully agrees that they had noticed it too. Gojo's choice of words and actions in the afterlife raises questions. He doesn't bid farewell to his students but says goodbye to others he meets there. Could this mean something different from what we think? The lotus flowers surrounding Gojo in the afterlife, symbols of rebirth and transformation, leave us wondering if Gojo's journey might not be over yet. Nanami's cryptic words about North and South add another layer of mystery. Could Gojo heal himself, perhaps by choosing South and rejecting the title of the most powerful sorcerer? While it does not set these theories in stone, they open up exciting possibilities for the future of Jujutsu Kaisen. Gojo Satoru's death has left us with much to ponder, and we can't wait to see where the story goes from here. One thing is for sure, Gojo's legacy will endure no matter what path he chooses. This chapter was also interesting because although he saw characters like Riko Amanai and Misato Kuroi, Nobara was not shown, which gives me even the slightest of hopes that Nobara is alive as well. If the worst timeline comes to pass, at least this would make it a little better, but things are definitely not looking bright for the Jujutsu society. The chapter then transitions back to the present, unveiling a heart-wrenching scene that confirms Gojo Satoru's demise. Sukuna stands before Gojo's lifeless body, severed and defeated, and pays his respects to the fallen sorcerer, telling Gojo to stand proud of his abilities and that he will never forget him. This chapter has been unlimited trauma. We see Gojo lying on the floor with blood gushing from his mouth. Sukuna then explained how he killed Gojo. After understanding how Maharaga adapted to Gojo's infinity, he probably learned how to cut space from watching Maharaga, or he adapted himself. In the wake of Gojo's death, Thunder God Hajime Kashima arrives on the battlefield, ready to confront Sukuna. The narrative takes an intriguing turn, setting the stage for what promises to be a riveting continuation of the story. The shocking events of Jujutsu Kaisen Chapter 236 have left fans reeling, eagerly anticipating the next chapter to unravel the mysteries and consequences of Gojo Satoru's ultimate sacrifice. Meanwhile, some parts of the chapter feel confusing, which has given some hope for his comeback. First, Gojo's head was not cut off, meaning he should still be able to use the reverse curse technique. The second was his mention of his father, seeing that there were some unfinished things and how Shoko would get them done. Third was him saying goodbye to his dead friend. This is one of the major points for his revival, as after death, one would bid farewell to people who are alive. Bidding farewell to his already dead friends may be a sign of him coming back from death. This is also not very far-fetched, as he has done this before against Toji. Finally, both Yuta and Shoko can heal others using the reverse curse technique, and Kashimo has already entered the battle. It's not far off for him to be healed by them, as Yuji survived having his heart ripped out, but honestly doubt there's anything he can do at this point if Sukuna can cut through infinity now. So while he distracts Sukuna, Yuta or Shoko might heal him and bring him back into the fight. We'll probably get proper answers when the full chapter drops or chapter 237 is released. But what are your thoughts? Do you think Gojo is alive or really dead now? This completely came out of left field, and Gege made us wait an additional week for it. I honestly don't know what to say, I'm just baffled, guys.